All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to decode that silent language our bodies are always speaking, so we can finally figure out who and what we can actually trust. So, that number you're looking at? 50%. According to study after study, that's your chance of correctly spotting a lie. Seriously, it's a coin toss. Heads you're right, tails you're totally wrong. And it's not just us. Listen to this from Joe Navarro, a former FBI counterintelligence agent. Identifying deceit is so difficult. Most of us are no better than chance. So if even the pros can't reliably spot lies, what are we supposed to look for? Well, we're going to dive into the methods of that very guy, Joe Navarro, who spent 25 years reading spies for the FBI. And trust me, it's going to completely change how you see people.
All right, first things first, we have to tackle the biggest myth out there, the one that trips pretty much everyone up when it comes to body language.
Yeah, this idea of being a human lie detector, it's a total fantasy. Here's the thing, trying to spot a lie is a recipe for disaster. Why? Because the body language for nervousness can look exactly like the body language for deception. The real experts, they don't even try to hunt for lies. So what do they look for instead? Well, they use a much better, much simpler framework. It all boils down to two things: comfort versus discomfort. That's it. That's the whole game.
And where do these signals come from? Deep inside, from what's called the limbic brain. You can think of it as the honest part of your brain. It's ancient, it's reactive, and it controls our true feelings. It's what makes you instantly freeze or want to run or get defensive, way before your logical brain has a chance to cook up a fake smile. It literally cannot lie.
And this right here, this is how it all breaks down. Forget looking for that one single tell that someone is lying. That's not how it works. We're looking for patterns. On one side, you've got comfort, high confidence, relaxed posture, what they call gravity-defying gestures. On the other, you've got discomfort, that classic freeze, flight, or fight response. We're not lie detecting. We're just gauging someone's genuine comfort level in that exact moment.
Okay, so where do we actually look for these signals? Let's do a quick tour of the body, FBI style. And we're going to start with, believe it or not, the most honest part of the human body.
I'm talking about the feet. Now, think about it. Since we were kids, we've been told to wipe that look off your face or put on a happy face. We are experts at controlling our faces. But when was the last time anyone told you to control your feet? Almost never, right? That's why they're so honest. The truth literally leaks out through our feet. And here are some classic examples. You see happy feet bouncing or wiggling? That's a super reliable sign of confidence and happiness. But what if their feet are pointed toward the door? That's their limbic brain screaming, I want to get out of here. And if you see someone lock their ankles around the legs of a chair, that is a textbook freeze response. It means they feel stressed or even threatened.
All right, moving on up from the feet, let's talk about the torso and the arms. You can think of this area as our body's personal shield. We use it to protect ourselves or to project power.
It's pretty simple, actually. We lean towards things and people we like, and we lean away from what we don't. Simple as that. A sudden crossing of the arms, that's a barrier going up, a clear sign of discomfort. On the flip side, when we're feeling confident, our arms move freely, our gestures go upward, defying gravity. And that classic hands-on hips pose, that's a territorial display. It's all about saying, I'm in charge here.
Okay, now for the part that messes with everyone's intuition, the hands and the face. We are hardwired to look at people's faces for clues, right? But that's the problem. It's the one part of the body we've been trained our entire lives to control. It's a mask, and that makes it the least reliable place to find the truth. So instead of getting fooled by a practiced smile, you gotta look for the involuntary stuff. See someone touching their fingertips together like this? That's called hand steepling, and it is one of the most powerful signs of confidence you'll ever see. But then you have things like neck touching. That's a pacifying behavior. It's the brain trying to soothe itself when it's feeling stressed out. And lip compression, when someone's lips just disappear, that's a universal sign that something is seriously wrong. These things are way more honest than a smile. Look, reading other people is only half the battle. The other half, and you could argue it's the more important half, is about your own body language. How can you consciously use these signals to project comfort and build trust with others? One of the most powerful techniques is something called mirroring. It's when you subtly, and I mean subtly, adopt the posture or gestures of the person you're talking to. When you do this, their brain subconsciously registers it as, hey, this person is like me, they get me. It's a nonverbal way of saying, we're on the same team, and it's a massive shortcut to building rapport and trust.
Building trust also means respecting people's space. We all have these invisible bubbles around us, right? An idea from anthropologist Edward T. Hall called proxemics. Leaning in a little can show you're interested, sure, but lean in too close and you pop their bubble. You invade their comfort zone, and that triggers their limbic brain's flight response. You literally make them want to back away from you.
Okay, so before you run out and start analyzing everyone you meet, you have to know the rules of engagement. There are 3 of them, and they are absolutely critical. If you ignore these, you're not an observer. You're just making wild guesses.
Rule number 1, always, always, always observe in context. Is that guy shivering because he's nervous about your question, or is it just freezing in here? Context is everything. Rule number 2, you have to establish a baseline. You need to know how someone acts normally when they're relaxed before you can ever spot a change that actually means something. And rule number 3, this is the big one. Look for clusters. A single gesture means almost nothing. One crossed arm could be anything. But crossed arms plus leaning away plus their feet pointing to the exit, now that's a cluster of discomfort signals. And that's telling you something.
So let's end with this question. Your body is always talking, whether you know it or not. What is it saying about you right now? Because remember, you're constantly broadcasting signals of comfort or discomfort. And maybe the first step to understanding other people is to finally start listening to the messages you're sending yourself.